this works for a change, because hotel Wi-Fi sucks. You know how that goes, folks. It's not. Well, maybe it's working. This works. Oh, look at that. It's working. All right, cross your fingers here with the hotel Wi-Fi. Let me just check our status here on the YouTube page. I want to discuss our upcoming likely tornado outbreaks. We've got a staff meeting at 9, so I need to get off by then. But I just want to here with the hotel. Just want to go ahead and talk to you folks a little bit about what's coming up, and we need to make some modifications here to one of our WeatherEye devices. I need to install a handle that I didn't have the other day. Thanks for joining, everybody. We'll get going here in a minute. Yeah, we do have probably a pretty significant tornado outbreak on tap. And you guys know that for me to say that, that's pretty significant. So, all right, thanks for joining, everybody. So I am live from the hotel room because I don't know where else to be live from, obviously. A wireless mic, looks like everything's, it's a little bit jello-y. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like the built-in camera, but whatever. I mean, I guess it works. So thanks for joining in. So we'll talk about the tornado outbreak and all that shortly. But I want to introduce everybody here to Project WeatherEye if you haven't met it already. Let's take a look at that. So here is remote deployment device, rapid deployment device number 2. Rapid deployment device number 1 is also on deck. That is this one here. You'll notice the differences. We have a handle. I did record a build video yesterday of this one here, but I have to edit it and get it ready, basically because I just didn't have time to live stream. We are going to be live streaming building these. It's just time permitting, so we can't. I was going to be doing that honestly this week, but there's a severe weather outbreak interrupting us. So I'll get the build video put together and processed before too long, but I'll introduce you guys since you might not have met these units quite yet. I wonder if I turn this off, it's better. I am going to turn that off. So folks, this is, dang it, I'm trying to get you to fit. This is one of our rapid deployment devices. Camera up top. We've got several different cameras we use. We have a ball head tripod mount so we can adjust the angle of the camera. Waterproof pass-through, status LED indicator, and a lighted toggle switch for on-off. Down here we have a USB plug. This is for charging. It is a bulkhead that's waterproof. We can just take it off and get right in there. Sorry about the crappy camera quality, folks. I'm trying to do this with a freaking lamp. Wow, that looks like trash. Why does that look so trash? Dear God, it looks terrible with the light on. All right, well, we'll just take that and piece the light out, I guess. Whatever, we don't need it. That's fine. Darkness is cool. Inside here, there's a few different pieces of hardware, and again, I don't know why the screen is all fuzzy. Sorry about that. We'll just have to kind of deal with it, I guess. We've got 2 LTE routers. In the video, I go in depth on why we use these 2 specifically. Oh my God, that looks like crap. Anybody know why it's doing that? Well, I put auto tracking on, so we'll see if that keeps it in focus. But anyway, inside of here, there is a battery pack, the computer, Orange Pi 5, some custom wiring, and that's about it. There's really not a whole lot to these. There's a storm chaser on Twitter today that was talking about, I guess, how easily these are to steal, and I guess apparently they're all going to get stolen. So if this gets stolen, you guys know who I'm going to blame. But I want to remind everybody real quick here, especially storm chasers that apparently might have it out for this project, so that I'm apparently learning. There's nothing in here of value. $50 router, it's SIM locked. $50 router, SIM locked. Okay, crap. $35 battery pack. Oh boy, wow, you're gonna get rich on that. $100 and something orange Pi. Who's gonna buy a freaking orange Pi Linux board? I mean, really. And we do have a DJI Action 4, but it's been permanently mutilated. We've epoxied into the charging port to waterproof it. Like this, if somebody rips this off of here, you're gonna rip the internal charging port out of it. Like it's no use to anybody. So I just wanna make that note. I don't know if this was all just a hoax or if this chaser really is like plotting to steal my stuff. I assume it's just all garbage, because if that was really happening, you wouldn't be putting that on Twitter unless you're really stupid. But there's literally nothing of value here, folks. I want to remind you that this also live streams in 4K and has audio, so your license plate's going to get caught. Just saying. So now that we've gone through that, there's also a GPS puck that is not in here, but we do actively track these with a GPS puck. I actually have them with, and we're probably going to install it in this video, and it gets put up under here. So this is actually GPS tracked. That's how we don't have to manually set locations. So that's what the internal is on one of these. Now there's some things we can swap. Some of these have different modems. Some of these have different cameras, like that USB all-weather camera. Haven't built a whole lot of those out yet, so we're focused on the 4K ones. But this is just a really nice unit. Powered on right there. Comes on. The status LED should boot up as soon as Linux boots on that machine. And again, I'm sorry that that camera is so fuzzy. God, this is almost hard to watch, isn't it? I am so sorry, folks. I can't do anything about that either. It will not focus. See if I could somehow manually focus this. Well, I'll leave active track on and we'll see. So basically this just indicates that this is powered on and connecting. Anyway, that's one of the rapid deployment devices. There's going to be like 20 of these things floating around. This one, you'll notice, is a little bit different. It is the same but different. So the issue with this one is I did not have a handle the other night, and we need to put the handle on. Same thing, basically. Only difference is the wiring's a little bit cleaner, because the more of these that I build, the better that I get. But we got to drill some holes in this, so hold on a second here. I will switch cameras over. I'm sick of looking at that camera. Frickin' A. That one. Okay, give me a second. So I purchased one of these handles at Menards. I think it's the same one as what's on the other one. I want them to match. I don't like stuff being half-assed. I really don't. So I hope that this is the same so that they can be equal units here. This is the same stinking handle, but it's black. So that's fine. Honestly, that's perfectly fine. So we'll go with it. So we'll put that on there. We'll bolt it in. We'll weather seal it. And it should be ready for deployment. That's really the only thing that I was waiting on for these units. You're probably wondering, well, how in the hell are you going to mount that on there if you're in a hotel? Well, don't worry. I brought my giant bag of tools in with me that only weighs about 30 pounds. Oh, God. Right here. So we're all good. Oh, no. Did I forget my drill bits? Oh, fuck. Oh, no. We got them. We're good. We're good. We got them. So drill bits. I don't even know what size bolts I got. But we're totally going to drill holes and try to not drill through the desk because my card is on file. Are you kidding me? Oh, no, they're right here. I thought they gypped me out of my screws, but here we go. So I got some screws and flat washers, just 1/4-20 machine screws. I have all this stuff in stock at home, but of course I didn't think to bring it, you know, because that would have made just way too much sense. Open this shit. Yeah, I don't know why the cameras look so crappy tonight. Oh, you know what? I know why they look crappy. Hold on. There we go. That's better. That's better. That's better. It's a stupid Mac, the portrait and the studio light thing, where it tries to blur the background. Hold on. Studio light's fine, but I don't want portrait on. I think that was our problem. That's better. Cool, found it. All right, I was wondering why it was acting like it was out of focus. But Project Weather Eye is in full force, guys. Aiden, one of our staff members, is down here as well. He's just south of here. So I actually should have told him to get up here and do this for me, or with me. I shouldn't say for me, but there. God, that looks better, don't it? Hold on, let me put studio lighting on for that too. God dang, that's better. See, we can figure stuff out. So we just need to drill some holes and not hit any of the internals. Because you really only have one shot. Oh boy, howdy, I wish I had a center punch or something. Oh, frick. I'm trying to get this drill bit out so I can mark the hole. There we go. One-handed's not easy. Did I really just break that? Yeah, I just wanted to scrape a little indentation in there so we could make sure we get that right back where we want the damn thing. So now we need to figure out which drill bit. I don't know what size these are. We'll go with whatever size this is, 3/16, because I don't think these are 1/4 20. They're damn close though. Okay, oh, here goes nothing. One shot to drill these, folks, remember, one shot. Hold on, we'll get in real close and get a nice intimate shot of me drilling a hole in this box. Really shouldn't have put those words together like that. It's not what I was trying to get at. But anyway, so we need to drill it right there. Ooh, man. I went down farther on the other one. God damn it. Stay up there. All right, well, we didn't hit anything on the other side, so that's good. All right. Screws fit, that's good. Is that the right size hole? No, it's not. That's all right. So we're totally eyeballing this. This is usually how mistakes happen, by the way. I might regret eyeballing this later. I'm really like OCD with this stuff too. If this handle's not straight, I'll have to rebuild the whole thing. Not even kidding. All right, well that's good. We didn't hit anything on that one either, so I do need a bigger drill bit. All right, do they fit? God dang, are you freaking kidding me? First time I've ever used a drill, apparently. Frickin', god dang it. Jesus Christ. Turn the camera on and everything goes wrong. There we go, how's that? Does it fit? Finally, there we go. All right, so we'll just loosely bolt two of these up so we can make sure that we get the other one in line, and then or the other two in line. Because we're gonna have to weather seal these. And like I said, if this thing's not perfectly straight, I will have to rebuild the whole thing. I am so like obsessive compulsive over this stuff. With that said, you would think that that would be an indicator that I would maybe measure these holes or something, but nah, that's fine. Full send. All right. I'd say we're pretty good. I'm happy with that. Make sure we didn't have any intrusion where we didn't want it. Oh, frickin' A, guys. Perfect. Look at that. Good to go. Now, where's my silicone? Probably don't have any. Wouldn't that be something? By God, we got just enough left. We are really cooking with grease now, people. Hold on, I gotta figure out what the hell I'm gonna use because I don't think I have a screwdriver in here. Nope. Okay, there's a screwdriver. All right, so we got wire strippers and a screwdriver. That's totally fine. We'll make it work. It's gonna be fine. So I try to put these large washers on the back just so that it doesn't, when you're on this handle, it's not trying to pull it out. I hope these aren't too big. They don't overlap, do they? No, they're fine. All right, well. Jesus Christ. I'm waking everybody up here. I'm just going to loosely put one of these nuts on just to hold it. It's just going to be easier, so I'm trying not to make a mess with that silicone. I have, on the previous one, I did put like nylon washers behind them. But my God, it took so much freaking, it was such a pain in the rear end to do and get them lined up under there that I honestly think we're just going to squirt some silicone in the hole and shove the bolt through and just deal with it. It'll be fine. I mean, it makes a mess, but it's fine. Plus, the bright side is the extra silicone that we slop all over the threads of the screw kind of acts as like natural Loctite. And I'll put some more on the threads so that when we smash the washer down on it, it makes a nice seal. Because, you know, if you're making a mess with the silicone, you know you're doing it right. I don't actually know if that's true, but it seems like whenever I make a mess with this stuff is usually when it holds the best. But, you know, we're just keeping water out, folks. This isn't rocket science. Like, we're not trying to plug a hole in the frickin' Titanic here. I mean, just got to keep the elements out, you know. I'm waiting for somebody in the comments to be like, "That's not how you do that." Well, you know what? That might not be how you do it, but guess what? Apparently this is how I do it, so. Oh, that's good. That's nice. Got that all over the freaking cable. Awesome. And I'm sorry that you can't see in here. We've got limited camera angles tonight because we're in a hotel room. And just going to put a little bit on the threads in here. And again, I totally get it, you know, because I'm sure the argument's in the chat. Oh, you put it on the threads. It's going to make it hard to get that nut off of there. You are absolutely right. And guess what? That's kind of my point, because that's kind of like my natural Loctite here. Hold on. I'm going to go into the bathroom here and get some Kleenex or something to wipe my hand on. All right, well, we'll just use one of their towels. I'm a Diamond member. I give this freaking hotel chain enough of my money. I think they can give me a towel. I won't kill them. They'll be all right. They won't miss it anyway. This is by far like the sloppiest part of this whole job, is weather sealing these. At least we don't have to worry about them being leakers. Because that would really just be stupid if we put these out in like monsoonal rain showers and they survive, you know, they can survive a tornado or hail or straight line winds, but they don't survive a tropical rainstorm, you know. That would be embarrassing. Oh yeah, hey, how come you had to rebuild that one? Oh, it got wet. Oh, it survived the tornado? Yeah, but it got wet. That would be embarrassing. And again, like I said, my method on here is just putting a little on the threads, and then you catch it with the washer, and then it smashes it down. And then with a little bit in the hole there, it's not going to leak. It's going to be just fine. And honestly, having a little bit on the threads to booger up the threads when you put the nut on is probably good, because you don't have to add Loctite then. It'll keep vibrations out and everything. You want one for the backyard? Well, don't worry. We're going to teach you how to build one here. Not tonight, but over the course of the next, I'm not sure how long, but we'll teach you. And that's not sarcasm. That is entirely the point of our project here. Why won't this go in the hole? Oh, did I not drill the hole? What the hell? All other three of them line up. Maybe I didn't drill that one out as much as I did the other ones. I don't know. That's all right. I'll thread in there. Yeah, we don't do the rubber, the silicone washers. That's what I was just talking about a minute ago. It's just too much. It's just too many parts, too many pieces. It's a pain in the ass. Like, these aren't meant to be winning a beauty contest. And this is just cheaper, easier, less parts to worry about having. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a mess, but it's fine. It's only a mess for a few minutes. After about 10 minutes, this stuff is pretty well set up and it's crusty, so. And after an hour, it's not a mess at all. But like I said, the first one was built with lots of little nylon rubber washers, but it was really a pain to keep them in there and have them fall out and everything, so just easier to do this. So I was also having an issue with those sealing because of the way these handles are. There's not a flat back on these handles. It's kind of indented, so it was kind of pinching the washer instead of putting even pressure on it. It was trying to tear them. And I just don't feel like dealing with that. So we tighten these up pretty good, but I don't want to go too tight because I don't want to crack this plastic. This plastic's pretty strong, but I still don't want to test it. I'd also recommend a pair of channel locks. Using the blunt end of the wire strippers is not exactly how I would recommend doing this, but we're in a hotel room in frickin' Missouri. I mean, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. There we go, that's it, it's on there, so. Look at that, beautiful, folks. I gotta get this shit off my hands before it's a problem, but the Loctite weatherproof sealant works a little better than the Permatex stuff. The only reason I say that is because the Permatex stuff sticks to your hands way more than the Loctite stuff. I mean, it's pretty much the same stuff, but I mean, it's gonna do the same job, but that Loctite stuff just doesn't seem to make a mess like the Permatex stuff does. All right, so wash it off my hands. So. All right, that's it. That's all we had to do with that unit for right now. So we'll leave this open. These are weather and air, almost airtight. So if you close them, that silicone never dries in there. So we'll leave it. Let's go ahead and take a look at chat and all that. And let me see what's going on here. Because like I said, we have a staff meeting at 9. So I got to get out of here too, but... Oh, everything's froze up here. All right, guys, like I said, we're all good. Like I said, we're in a hotel room. We're not muted. It's okay. Holy cow, 500 messages in the chat there. We got it, guys. We're good. I promise. But projectweathereye.com, I see lots of people asking about this in the chat. Folks, projectweathereye.com. I've plastered that pretty much all over the internet. I'm actually surprised that there's folks here that haven't heard about it. It must be new folks, which is good because that means that YouTube is doing what YouTube's supposed to do and gets the word out there. But sorry about the audio issue there. Like I said, we're in a hotel room, so we're just really struggling to make this work. But projectweathereye.com. I want to go ahead and take a look here at what we're dealing with over the next few days. This is tomorrow, and this is the moderate risk from the SPC. So the red is the level 4 out of 5. That's where our most concern is for severe weather. So just north of Memphis, all the way up there to Davenport, Iowa, that's mostly for like a strong wind risk. This is no joke, folks. You know, you get 75 to 80 mile an hour straight line winds. I mean, you might as well get hit by a tornado at that rate. So, you know, I know sometimes people think of severe weather only being tornadoes, but it is the wind too. I'm not really too concerned about hail for tomorrow, but wind I definitely am. Really kind of in that, especially centered around like St. Louis up to Davenport area. That enhanced risk, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see this enhanced risk, and I'm not trying to do the Sharpie gate thing here, but I wouldn't be surprised if this enhanced risk looks a little bit more something like this tomorrow. To maybe include like Madison, Janesville, Rockford, Chicago. That wouldn't surprise me. I also wouldn't be surprised if, hold on, let me show you the tornado probabilities for tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised. See the yellow, that's our enhanced risk for tornadoes. So this part here, the 10%, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not trying to scare anybody or hype anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see like a 15% issued somewhere down here in this area. But keep in mind, folks, tomorrow just a big wind day with possibly some strong tornadoes embedded, but seriously, a big significant wind risk is at play here. Now, here's what everybody's been talking about. This is the moderate risk for Saturday. This is the big day. You know, tomorrow is kind of the day before the day. Tomorrow's the big day. Or I'm sorry, Jesus Christ, Saturday is the big day. I don't know how to say this, folks, because I don't think I've said this since last May. But I'm going to be completely honest with you, folks. You guys know that I cannot stand hype. I cannot stand the whining, the crying, the, oh, I'm so scared and concerned. I can't stand that. It's fake. It's manufactured. It's by people that are too immature to make a forecast, and they're too immature to be functioning adults. So they just tweet out about how scary it is. I also take a very hard stance when it comes to respecting the people that are impacted by these storms. So I don't think it's appropriate to have this, and I see this all over the internet now, this all, yeah, let's go. It's like, no, let's not go. Let's not get excited about tornadoes killing people, because I'm going to be flat out honest with you, folks. I don't have a crystal ball, but I would not be surprised if we have weather that is deadly here on Saturday. There has been incredible model consistency, and I actually have a pretty significant amount of, I think that we're looking down the barrel of a loaded gun scenario with this. Normally I don't say that until like the day of or the night before, but I honest to God feel like we are looking down the barrel of a loaded gun. And I don't say that lightly, and you guys know that I try not to say that, but I do feel like this is a very serious situation. I expect a high risk to be issued. So here's our moderate risk: Baton Rouge, Louisiana, all the way up to Birmingham and Huntsville. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a high risk issued somewhere in this area down here. Well, maybe even up here. I know there were some northward trends, but I think the high risk is probably out of the equation to the west of this line. I think there's going to be a high risk. I'll broaden this out a little bit. I would almost say probably somewhere in here, give or take. Obviously, this could change, and I'm not trying to say there's going to be a high risk. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the noon or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, whatever it is, update tomorrow if they actually put a high risk out there. Reason being, the SPC, we know that they're a little bit bullish, and sometimes if the forecast for tornadoes is here, and this is not a knock on them, this is merely an observation. If this is the tornado forecast, sometimes the SPC is forecasting up here. They seem to be a little bit bullish, and I'm just kind of reading minds here, and I'm not promising, but I wouldn't be surprised because I feel like our tornado potential's up here, and we've had model consistency, so I kind of expect the SPC to be right about there, or maybe just a little bit up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a tornado-driven enhanced, or a tornado-driven high risk. But whether we do or not, it doesn't matter. We're still looking down the barrel of a loaded gun potentially. There are a couple of failure modes that could occur, but really they're few and far between. I'm not expecting this to be April 27th, 2011 all over again. But folks, it reminds me of those 2 high-risk days in 2021. Neither of them were like stellar overperformers, but they were definitely respectable severe weather outbreaks. So I would fully expect severe weather outbreaks to occur, especially in the moderate risk. But let's also not forget about the large slight risk. There could be a secondary target. Some models are showing maybe even up here. But if you're in any of these pretty colors, but especially if you're in this dark orange, this enhanced risk down here, Tallahassee to Alexandria, Louisiana, all the way up there to like Clarksville and what is that? Corbin? Yeah, like Corbin, Kentucky, Bowling Green, Kentucky. And south of there, you guys really need to be paying attention. One good thing here, if you actually look in the Radar Omega app, look at all these cyclone ports. These are all live video feeds all over. So you can actually click on these and figure out what's going on. For example, we've got our Radar Omega HQ camera here. That actually looks really good. So you'll be able to actually monitor this, and if you want to armchair storm chase tomorrow, you certainly can. There's several cameras in the moderate risk. Obviously, if the situation warrants, we'll be deploying Project Weather Eye. In fact, I'd like to get at least 1 or 2 of these cameras out. Dixie Alley is really hard to do these as a deployment, folks. It really is, especially with us not being a little bit premature on the hardware. Our goal is by April 10th to have like 10 of these things. But we've got 2. As soon as I get home, I'll probably build 5 more. You know, we're working them in and working them in. So we'll get those put out, and of course, obviously, I'll be live in the area as well. Let's take a look at HRRR model real quick. I just want to turn off the severe weather data. Let's look at HRRR. We're just going to look at composite reflectivity. I mean, it's fine. We only have half of the 0Z loaded. Does that give us enough? Well, this gives us until 7 p.m. tomorrow. So we'll look at tomorrow. So this is showing, hinting of some early convection going on back toward Kansas City and up I-35 by about 4 p.m. What I really expect to be happening is more like a squall line. There's this cyclone or this area of low pressure back by Sioux City and Sioux Falls. And we're probably gonna have this line fill in, and it's gonna kind of suck these storms to the northeast. So as you get farther down the line, like in this area, you're gonna see a little bit more of an east than north vector. But farther up here, closer to the low, which is gonna be up here, the cyclone, the surface low, L for low, you're gonna see more of a north of northeast motion on these storms. And this big arc moving kind of north and northeast. So I expect these storms to be coming out of the southwest. And if we go ahead and put this in motion, we'll just look a couple of hours ahead, why not? Yeah, I see, there we go. Probably a raging squall line at this point. This is what, 7 p.m.? 6 p.m., I think this model's a little bit early. HRRR is oftentimes a little bit early or a little bit late. It's rarely spot on, but this will be kind of moving to the northeast and farther down here, maybe a little bit more east. We'll move forward a few more hours before we run out of model data. And there it is, crossing the Mississippi River by about 9 p.m., probably 60 to 80 mile an hour squall line winds with this. So then next up, I would say probably, maybe I would say it'd be a safe bet between 9 and 10 p.m. to expect this to be crossing the river. So if we think about a timeline for this, let's come up with a timeline together here real quick. So let's say, just basing it off HRRR and not knowing a whole lot more. For you folks, I-35 corridor to Kansas City to like Columbia, Missouri, up to Cedar Rapids, Waterloo, and Des Moines. We'll call this zone number 1. You guys in zone number 1, I would say maybe 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., expect these storms to get going and possibly pose a hazard. Let's say zone 2 is right here, zone 2. Cedar Rapids down to Jefferson City, St. Louis, Springfield, includes Davenport, Dubuque, Freeport, Monroe, Dixon, maybe even as far north as La Crosse. It's hard to say, but maybe let's just say ballpark, 7 p.m. in the west to like 10 p.m. in the east. So 7 to 10 p.m. you guys are probably going to be most concerned. And then let's just say zone 3, we'll call it the rest of it. I'd say 10 p.m. plus. So you guys are going to clear out from west to east. So again, we'll put this in motion just one more time for you guys. So there it is, about 4 or 5 p.m. It's going to clear the Mississippi River by about 8 o'clock here south of Davenport, south of I-80. But it's still going to linger here, possibly as it wraps back off to the northwest. It's going to linger here in northeast Iowa, probably as late as 10 p.m. But our Wisconsin cyclone port there actually might get smoked by the squall line by about 10 p.m. tomorrow, it looks like. So that's actually kind of pretty. That's a little out of focus. I'm going to restart that. See if we can get that to restart. That needs to be focused here. If we reboot it, it'll autofocus itself. It's out of focus. Might have something on the lens, but that's kind of what we're looking at. Let's look at the NAM real quick. That's another convective allowing model. Like I said, we're out here in la la land with these models. We'll look at the 18Z. Take this with a grain of salt, guys. This is not nightmare fuel by any means. This stuff's just, we're way out in la la land here with these. But you'll see that, yeah, there we go. It shows 5 to 6 p.m. a squall line forming. So maybe this is trending a little bit earlier tomorrow. Yeah, at about 10 p.m. No, I think NAM is a better bet here. So 10 p.m. Waterloo to Cedar Rapids to Davenport. I also like the curved shape of these squalls with our low being back probably more like over here. So I tend to trust the NAM a little bit more in this context. So I'm kind of team NAM on this one, I think. Let me change my pen color here. Moving forward, I would expect, I don't know. I like the progression of this, yeah. By about midnight, clearing I-39, I-90, so Madison, Rockford, Rochelle, what's this down here? Is that Dixon? LaSalle. To LaSalle. Should be out of there by midnight, pushing east. In Chicago, you're going to have to deal with the remnants of this garbage after midnight. But look, it really clears out, guys. It's really cleared out. It's really broken up by 3 a.m. Kind of need to pay attention to the southern part of this, too. Hinting at some like isolated or semi-isolated storms. Now, the tornado parameters down here are not super high, but they are considerable. Let's put them that way. So the ingredients are definitely there that we could get some tornadoes tomorrow evening. And when I say evening, I mean maybe as early as, 8, 9, 10 p.m., but also overnight. Clarksville, up into Bowling Green, maybe by like 4 a.m. So that could be a problem. And then NAM 3 kilometers shows our moderate risk down here by 2 p.m. having some ongoing storm. Ooh, boy. Yeah, so these possible prefrontals coming up by like 4 p.m. This is not a good trend. Let's look at the 18Z HRRR. Does it go out far enough? It does. It goes out to 1 p.m. Holy shit, guys, this is not good. I'm not trying to hype cast anything, but here we are at 11 a.m. And what I want to draw your attention to, and I know Evan's probably out there just like screaming at me, because, I'm joking. He doesn't scream at me, but we're coming up on 9 p.m. So don't worry, guys. Forecast meeting is still on. But I want to draw your attention to this. We have our main kind of squall line here, right? That's our main forcing. That's our main squall. We still live? Thank God. That's our main squall. We've got the prefrontal convection signals out ahead of this by I-55. Now what that means is that we've got these storms that there's enough forcing, there's enough of a mechanism to get that air to rise and convect prior to whatever squall line comes through. That's where we usually end up with significant tornado outbreak potential, because we have these storms that are interacting with the environment out ahead of them, and we don't have the issue of, of storm mode. If this comes to fruition, now keep in mind this is really, really early, and this is out there in that la garbage, don't trust it land. But man, these signs of prefrontal convection, guys, those could be tornado-producing supercells. Not cool. So hopefully this downtrends, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. There we go. I'll check on the chat and then I'm going to wrap this up. God, thanks for watching, everybody. This is kind of a fun little live stream to do here. I'm going to do these live streams prior to severe weather outbreaks and stuff like this. We are live there, we're live there, we're live there, we're live there, and we're live there. Good. Folks, that's really all I got for us tonight. I got to order DoorDash still. Ooh, my phone is on Do Not Disturb, isn't it? So thanks for riding along with our little project there. You're going to Atlanta and then Tuscaloosa for your first chase. You picked a terrible first chase. I don't mean that to discourage you, but I'm just being honest with you. This is a terrible first chase because there is a potential for houses to go flying. This is not what I would call a friendly chase for new people. So my advice would be don't get ballsy with this stuff. So in Dixie Alley, the best thing to do down here is to stay out ahead of the storm and position yourself to get plowed by it. So get out ahead of it. You see a tornado warning down here, but your road network's all zigzaggy, squiggly lines on a map. Get out ahead of it because they're going to be moving 40 to 60 miles an hour. If it's going to produce a tornado, it's going to produce a long track tornado. Let it come to you. If you go and get stupid and get on it like a lot of these YouTube chasers do, and they think they're the little cowboys out there, and well, it's not just YouTube chasers. There's a lot of these like social media chaser booms, and a lot of us that have been on YouTube for years agree on this. A lot of these cowboys go out there and they're like, yeah, let's go. And no, let's not go. Like, let's not get killed. Like, getting killed is not cool. You know, I have seen people get killed and it's not cool. And people seem to think that they're invincible. Now, you probably don't because, you know, you had the question to ask for advice. You know, you had the brains for that. So you probably are well informed enough to be down here chasing. So you probably are prepared for this more than a lot of these people that have been doing this for a while on YouTube have. And that's not singling anybody out. It's just you see so many people out there that, you know, they pick up a camera and it's their third YouTube chase and they're all, let's go. And it's like, no, let's not. It's not cool to get killed. It's not cool to get smoked by a tornado. We had that happen in Rolling Fork. Some chasers got hit by a tornado that one of them I know really wasn't their fault because he was trying to get out. It was Chris. He was trying to get out. That was not his fault. Some other folks were all just, oh my God, yeah, we got hit by a tornado. That was awesome. It's like, you know what? That might sound awesome to you, but dying a slow and painful death of a 2x4 jammed through your skull or jammed through your chest probably isn't very cool. So appreciate you having the brains to ask that question. So my advice, honestly, would just be like, don't get stupid. Stay out in front of the storm. Let it get to you because honestly, that's the way to get tornadoes down here. If you want to see tornadoes and be able to help when they do hit something, stay out in front of them and then let them come to you because they're long track. If there's a tornado down here and it's going to be a big deal, it's just going to be a long track tornado anyway. Let it come to you. If it puts a tornado down 15 miles down the road, it's probably going to have that same damn tornado down 15 miles up the road when it gets to you in 5 minutes, the way they move down here. So that's kind of my advice. Just don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing. You know, you see a lot of people out here that are clearly just out for, you know, to see chaos, and that's not all storm chasers. There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good ones on YouTube that don't fit into that category, but you see a lot of people out here that just act very silly and very stupid about some of this stuff, and it's really not a good idea to get involved in that, especially down here, because this is where people get killed and hurt, because the road network is fine. The roads themselves are fine, but they're like spaghetti on a map. They go all over the place. And that's not good. It's difficult to navigate. There's cellular dead zones. Starlink's not going to work under the trees. Like it's going to be really tough to get data. You have to rely on radar a lot down here. And it's really hard to rely on radar when you don't have any data because of, you know, trees. So that's kind of my advice. But good luck. Good luck, honestly, as long as you're not... I guess just don't be dumb. And honestly, I think anybody that has I think anybody that has the brains to ask for advice in this situation is probably better equipped than a lot of people that I've seen down here. Honestly. So, what else we got? Yeah, it's going to be a big deal. It could still bust. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we could have, we've had high risks completely bust before. This could flop flat on its face. We could have model data that's skewed or something's goofed up, and we realize that on the morning of that, oh, this is crap. Everybody go home. Let's hope so, because this looks like a pretty serious deal. So hopefully it's crap. As a storm chaser, I rely on seeing tornadoes and stuff and storms, but I really don't like seeing. I really don't like seeing this kind of stuff because this is not. This is how you end up with long nights like Rolling Fork and Lowen. It's just not. It's not a good time. I tell you what, though, if this does go to crap and it flops flat on its face and somehow busts, this is going to be the model consistency has really been key on this one, guys. If this flops, don't blame the meteorologist, don't blame the SPC, because trust me, the model data really does indicate that this should be a big event. So if this is a misforecast, it's kind of beyond us at this point. But thanks for watching, folks. I don't know if I'm going to be chasing tomorrow. I'm going to try. I should have went and got, I don't know where Aiden's, I should have brought Aiden on this live stream. Because he's out here too. He'll be helping get these things out if we can. The thing is, though, if these tornadoes are moving 100 freaking miles an hour like they do down here, I don't know if we're going to be able to get these out. But we'll try. With only 2 of these, if we had like 15 of these things, which we'll have eventually, we'd just go put like 10 of them out ahead of time. Like on overpasses or something. But tomorrow's live stream, I can't go live stream up there in Iowa because I have to get down to like Hattiesburg or somewhere like that for the following day, which is Saturday. And there's just no stinking way that I could chase up there in Iowa and still make it down to Hattiesburg. Honestly, if anybody's actually doing that, good question. If anybody is doing that, that's really dumb because you can't go into a high risk, potentially tornado outbreak driving 12 hours all night after chasing a tornado. That's a terrible idea. I really hope that's not actually happening. That would be not good to see. From a storm chasing perspective, it's not going to be that great up there anyway, from a chasing perspective anyway. Mark, are you talking about the guy that got smoked by the debris in the hurricane and was laughing about it? Is that who you're talking about? In Auburn, Alabama. I can't give you timing other than just Saturday afternoon. Saturday after lunch. It's just too early to talk about that because we'd pretty much just be lying through our teeth at this point potentially. But Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. But honestly, I would start paying attention Saturday morning in case something changed because this is a pretty serious deal. Good question, but just don't really have an answer for that right now. So, God, the chat's moving so fast I can barely keep up with it here. Northeast Tennessee to west of Little Rock be okay tomorrow during the day. You'll be fine, Michael. Just, if you've got Radar Omega, open the app, take a look. If you don't, pay attention. I mean, if you start seeing dark clouds off to the west, you might have a problem. I know that sounds kind of corny, but it's true. I mean, if it looks like it's getting stormy, then I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence here, but like if it looks like it's getting stormy, then probably pay extra close attention. But honestly, I mean, you're going to get the visual cues anyway, you know, squall line out in the west and everything. But I think it'll be all right during the day. Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah, it's probably going to be an impacted area by something. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to wrap this up here in a minute or two. I'm just trying to look at a few things. Pensacola on Saturday? Yeah. I mean, this squall line here, I mean, that squall line might move through Saturday night. I'm not really seeing a major chaotic tornado risk really too much for like the Pensacola area, but yeah, it's definitely a heightened risk, so I'd be very careful and paying attention in Pensacola. Seriously, folks, this is not an event to screw with. Like, normally, I reason with people. I know a lot of events are overhyped. This ain't one of them. It really ain't. So, beyond that, anyway, so we'll be putting this stuff out, or putting these out as able. There's going to be eventually, like I said, like 20 of these things. Unfortunately, we're just not there yet. We have a lot of the supplies, a lot of the equipment, but it's really hard to build these when we're being interrupted constantly by severe weather and tornadoes. It's pretty ridiculous that the weather can't wait 20 minutes here for us, but we've got 2 of them. That'll do for now. We'll get these going because we've got our staff meeting at 9. I have to order DoorDash. Be careful, folks. I don't care where you get your weather. I don't care if you're watching James Spann. I don't care if you're watching... I don't know who else is in the market down there, or if it's Hall or who it is, or if it's Cantori. I don't care. Whoever you're watching, just make sure you pay attention to some source that's trustworthy. You know, don't go watch, I don't know, Tornadoes Are Us on YouTube or something. You know, somebody that doesn't know what they're doing. You know, go watch somebody that knows what they're doing. Somebody that's watching radar. Somebody that's paying attention. You know, your local television media, they're usually the best. That's Channel 9. Usually local media is the best. We won't get into that, but Channel 9, David Payne trying to say that his paycheck was more important than the safety of the public. We'll get into that in another one. That really rubbed me the wrong way. But like James Spann and these other meteorologists down here, they know your area best because they live there and they work there and they're always talking about it, right? So they know, they can say, hey, the Dollar General on 5th Street, you know, is about to get hit. Stuff like that. So watch your local TV, radio. You know, if you're watching YouTube, just make sure it's somebody that's reputable, somebody that knows what they're doing. You know, go watch your favorite storm chasers, support your local content creators, stuff like that. You know, enjoy the coverage, and hopefully nobody will be impacted. But unfortunately, it looks like that might be the case. So I'll have an update out in the morning. I'll have a Project Weather Eye update later tonight or tomorrow morning. I have a few things to get ready for the streaming aspect. Amazon Web Services terminated my account this morning. They thought that it was really fishy that we were pushing like terabytes of data through their servers, even though I pay for that data, hundreds of dollars a month, mind you. So they flagged it and they terminated it. So I had to rebuild basically all of our backend infrastructure. Luckily, I have backups of everything, so I deployed it on something else because we have to transcode the H.265 data from these and transcode it to H.264. Because pretty much every web player out there runs HLS, which is segmented. It's an M3U8 playlist. It's segmented video, like HTTP packet sent video, and that requires H.264 most of the time. So we need to be able to transcode that. You'll be able to view these in the Radar Omega app when they get put out. Obviously, the mobile live streams as well. But we'll also have the ability to bring these into the live stream. So you can watch them whenever you want on the Radar Omega app. Just make sure you have the Cyclone port layer on. But we will be bringing them in like when we're talking about them or if there's something interesting. We'll bring them into the live stream on YouTube as well. So if you want to watch them on demand though, you can use the app, but you can also watch them right here. So. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Have a good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys all later. Have a good night.